welcome back to DeFi Tactics. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do not make any financial decisions based on my word alone. Always do your own research. With that said, today we're going to discuss F assets, what they are, and why we would mint them, namely FTSO rewards and the general rewards pool. Let's get to it. So we're going to begin this by going to the FLR blog, which you can locate at flare.xyz. So we're going to see what they say an F asset is, and then we're going to kind of break it down a little bit. To understand what integrate means, an F asset is a one-to-one representation on FLR of any token from another chain. FLR's F asset protocol can be thought of as a pure, trustless, and non-custodial bridge from one chain to FLR and back again. F assets are created and redeemed without relying on a third party. In short, the F asset protocol is designed to allow any asset from any chain to be used with full Ethereum-style smart contracts on FLR without relying on a centralized third party. So what does this mean? This means that we can take tokens that don't have smart contract capabilities, such as Doge or XRP or Litecoin, and use them in a trustless way, meaning there's no third party that we have to rely on. This means we don't have to trust anybody that they have a one-to-one backing of the token. The F asset system completely negates the need to trust some third party. So how does this whole system work with the F assets? FLR's consensus protocol doesn't require the native token to be used to secure the network. This means that FLR's native token, FLR, can be put to other uses. When deployed to the F asset protocol, the FLR holder earns fees in the underlying F asset. Simultaneously to being deployed as collateral to an F asset protocol, the FLR token may be used to participate in the FLR time series oracle. Let's say, for example, we want to mint one FXRP. 2.5 times the value of the XRP in FLR needs to be put up as collateral. This way, if when the FXRP wants to be redeemed for XRP and there's a bad actor at play, that collateral is sent instead of the XRP in this instance in order to compensate the individual for not receiving their XRP. They can then take that FLR token and go to an exchange and swap it for XRP or the underlying asset. There's a lot more that goes into the actual F asset system. This video is mainly just speculating on some rewards that we can earn by minting some F assets. If you're getting anything out of this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button and left me a comment in the comment section below. So as first movers after XRP and supporting of FLR, a pool of 5 billion FLR is being dedicated to Litecoin participants. This is intended to incentivize community engagement with FLR and the building of applications on FLR that use FLTC and to widen the circle of FLR token ownership. The 5 billion FLR pool does not increase the amount of FLR coming into existence, rather they are redirected from the amount that would be accruing to the FLR Foundation. A fixed percentage of FLR rewards pool will be distributed daily by smart contracts to FLTC holders. Each participant's reward will be calculated based on the amount of FLTC they hold relative to the entire amount of FLTC that exists on FLR. So let's break that down. There's a couple key points I want to highlight here. First, 5 billion Spark tokens are going to be available as incentives or rewards to those who mint FLTC on the FLR network. Lastly, we get these tokens paid out daily. So that covers the Litecoin reward pool, but let's talk about the general rewards pool. As with Litecoin, it is important to incentivize the participation and partial network ownership of each community that engages with FLR. As such, we are defining the general rewards pool and increasing its size. The general rewards pool currently derives its FLR tokens from exclusions and the XRP whale cap. This totals about 7 billion FLR. A 1 billion XRP cap is set on any group of XRP accounts known to belong to the same individual. This means that such an individual may claim Spark using 1 billion XRP tokens, but no more. So the over 1 billion XRP is where these 7 billion FLR tokens are coming from for the rewards pool. To this 7 billion FLR, 5 billion will further be added through diversion from the FLR Foundation, such that the foundation now starts out with 20 billion FLR. Further, and the only major change we are making from the previous distribution plans, any FLR that are unclaimed by XRP holders at the expiration of the 6-month claim period of 11 June 2021 will now go to the general rewards pool. Although the sum is determined partially by the actions of others, based on current data, it is likely that this pool will total at least 20 billion FLR. And again, the general rewards pool will have exactly the same payout percentage rate as the Litecoin dedicated pool above, and will also pay out daily. So let's break this down just a little bit before we get into some speculation on how many rewards we can earn using some figures. The general rewards pool will have at least 12 billion FLR tokens. These tokens will be distributed daily to those who mint FXRP, FDoge, FXLM, and it's assumed now FAlgo. However, any Spark tokens or FLR that were not claimed before the deadline of 11 June 2021, those tokens will be added to the general rewards pool. This may bump the actual amount in the general rewards pool up to almost 20 billion tokens. So now that we have a basic understanding of what F assets are, we can start kind of guess and put some figures into our calculator in order to figure out what our rewards might be. So this calculator here is the F asset reward pool calculator. Expected pool rewards of 12 billion in the general rewards pool. This may change up to 20 billion. It all depends on how many people have actually claimed their Spark tokens. On the right hand side, you can see our Litecoin rewards pool is sitting at 5 billion Spark tokens. This will not change. That is completely set. We're assuming a weekly distribution of about 0.5% for both the Litecoin and the general rewards pool. This would take about 200 weeks in order to complete the distribution. So distributing from 12 billion in this case in the general rewards pool at 0.5% per week, that would leave about 60 million rewards being distributed weekly, meaning there would be 60 million Spark tokens distributed weekly to the general rewards pool F assets, such as FXRP, FXLM, FDoge, and possibly FAlgo. On the right-hand side, distributing 0.5% per week. Again, our week's distribution is complete, so the amount of time it would take before the distributions ran out would be 200. So 200 weeks, the rewards pool will run dry. It means that in the Litecoin pool, there will be 25 million Spark tokens distributed weekly to those who mint FLTC. Now on the left-hand side, you can see the assumed proportion of F assets minted and the assumed rewards for FXRP holders. So what this means is the rewards are based on the value you put in the F asset system. Since the general rewards pool will be comprised of XRP, XLM, Doge, some of those weekly rewards or daily rewards will be distributed to people that mint all those different tokens. So for this example, we are minting FXRP. So we're going to do a little assumption here. We're assuming that of all the F assets that are minted, 75% of those are FXRP. This would mean that for FXRP holders, 45 million Spark tokens weekly will be distributed, with these figures of 12 billion in the rewards pool and a 0.5% distribution weekly. We have to make some assumptions on how many XRP or Litecoin will actually be minted into FXRP or F Litecoin. So we can see a circulating supply of about 46, almost 47 billion XRP tokens. And we've got a circulating supply of about 68,765,000 Litecoin. We're assuming that 6% of the circulating supply will be minted into FXRP or F Litecoin. This means that we're assuming a total of 2.8 billion FXRP will be minted and a total of 4.12 F Litecoin will be minted. Now, assuming we have 3,000 XRP that we are minting into FXRP and we have 10 FLTC that we are minting, we can calculate our projected weekly rewards. So based on how much our weekly distribution rewards rate is. Additionally, how much FXRP we've minted based on the total amount of FXRP that's minted, we can calculate our rewards. So in this scenario, having 6% of the circulating supply minted into FXRP, and we mint 3,000 FXRP, we have a projected weekly rewards rate of about 63, almost 64 FLR or Spark tokens per week. Assuming we say mint that for 10 weeks because why not? We're looking at 639 Spark tokens per 10 weeks. Now, since the Litecoin has a dedicated pool, say we were to mint 10 Litecoin, again, assuming 6% of the circulating supply gets minted into the FLTC, we're looking at about 60 FLR or Spark tokens per week based on our 10 FLTC minted. This gives us about 605 Spark tokens for 10 weeks of minting FLTC. There's some caveats here. The rewards pool distribution will be distributed daily, not weekly. There is a minimum of 12 billion FLR, but up to 20 billion FLR for the general rewards pool. These figures are all assumptions and they're not known at this time. And lastly, FAlgo is assumed to be paying out FLR rewards from the general rewards pool. This means there is one more F asset that will be competing for these rewards in the general rewards pool. Whereas Litecoin has its own dedicated pool. So that's got to be taken into consideration when deciding what rewards you're going to try to earn based on what F assets you're going to hold. So again, this changes based on, let's say we're going to throw in 15 billion tokens. Well, now our weekly distribution rate bumps up to 75 million Spark tokens per week, which again bumps us, assuming everything else is the same, 6% circulating supply minted. We have 3,000 XRP. You're looking at about 79, almost 80 Spark tokens distributed per week to us. Maybe we have less circulating supply, so maybe instead of 6%, we only have 4% is actually minted into FXRP. Well, now you're looking at almost 1,200 F assets. So there's a bunch of variables we don't know, especially based on the weekly distribution rate and how many F assets will actually be minted. However, one thing is for sure, the earlier that we get in and mint our F assets, the more rewards we'll be able to collect. The earlier that we get in, the lower amount of participants there are, the more rewards there are to go around. So that about wraps it up for this video. Again, I just wanted to kind of go over briefly the general and the Litecoin rewards pools and how we can do some speculating to assume and figure out what our rewards rate will be based on minting F assets. As always, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. We'll catch you next time on DeFi Tactics. So for those new Flare Essa. All right, so now that we have a basic understanding of what FSS, so again, this gives us about 605